If you've ever been to the old classic ballparks like Wrigley Field and Fenway Park, you'll notice how the atmosphere outside is amazing. Once you come inside though, you can find yourself sitting behind a huge pole. In fact, there are entire websites dedicated to helping you avoid staring into a steel girder for 3 hours while you eat a $12 hot dog. But when it comes to the modern stadium, these poles won't be found anywhere. Clean, unobstructed sightlines for everyone. Why did using poles at stadiums, which was once the norm, all but disappear? The answer to that and the genius engineering behind that is coming up right after this.
This just in. I'm Dick Clippers from 7.5 on your side, and we have a huge announcement. Manscaped, the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming, has just announced their new tool to trim down your pubic hair safely and securely. Yes, as the feature item of the Perfect Package Essentials Kit, the Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof trimmer has just been released. Let's shoot it over to me in the bathroom. Yes, Dick, the Lawnmower 3.0 has an improved ergonomic design complete with side grips, uses the same fantastic ceramic non-rusting blade, and is now rated at 7,000 RPM with quiet stroke technology. Wow, Dick, I love quiet stroke technology. Yeah, and that's not all. The new 600 mAh battery extends the life up to 90 minutes, has a new ergonomic charger base, and has a built-in LED. That's incredible, Dick. Tell me where I can get one of these. Well, Dick, you can go to manscaped.com, use the code FivePoints and get 20% off your order of the Perfect Package 3.0 and get free shipping. And if you sign up as a subscriber, you'll get refill blades and 2 free gifts. Fantastic reporting as always. I'm going to manscaped.com and using code FivePoints for 20% off right as we speak. That's a wrap? Okay.
When you go to a modern major sports stadium today, you expect the best experience, and you especially don't want a seat behind a f***ing pole. No, in modern times, the worst thing you can experience is other fans or food poisoning. It didn't always used to be like that. In order to understand why they are/were even poles in the stands to begin with, we have to look back at stadiums throughout history. The Coliseum was an amazing feat of engineering. It was made of concrete and didn't have any blocked seats, but unfortunately, like the practice of killing athletes after they lose, this structure wasn't meant to last. Concrete on its own is a great starting point, however, when you look at the Coliseum now, it's crumbling. Earthquakes and elements have taken their toll. Because of the Dark Ages where stadiums disappeared, this technology was lost. When stadiums began to reappear in the late 19th century and early 20th century, wood was an ideal material as it was strong enough to create bleachers. Of course, the need to pack in more fans and get them closer to the action arose, and the grandstand was invented. The problem was wood was generally weak and, flammable, as many early stadiums met death by immolation, aka a Bill O'Brien. But in 1903, Harvard Stadium used concrete and steel, and in 1909, Forbes Field used that same technology to eventually become a 3-tiered venue. But even with lightweight steel and pourable concrete, poles were still necessary to support the weight of the upper deck and roof. The engineers had the right ingredients, but not the right execution. Let's look at the design for Old Yankee Stadium. An arena needs to support the significant downforce of gravity provided by the people sitting in the stands, especially these days. Looking at the cross-section of Old Yankee Stadium, you can clearly see everything is designed to be vertical, and even with the use of trusses and steel beams, poles are necessary to support the weight of both the fans and the grandstands themselves. Additionally, vertical beams are used to support the roof, which provides shade and shelter, but also block views. Yes, it's obvious why the posts are there, but how they were eliminated took genius and a combination of many things. In order to eliminate poles, the first thing we need is strength, not just in design, but in the materials we are using. By the mid-20th century, concrete had evolved from being simple mortar, gravel, and sand to extremely strong and durable. Naturally fireproof, high-grade concrete with the addition of steel reinforcement is a key ingredient for our modern stadium, and in some cases, almost all we need. Along with concrete, we can use the aforementioned steel, which has a high strength to weight ratio. Most steel is iron and carbon carbon, but high-grade steel can have up to 5% other elements like chromium or even silicone, and allows for lightweight structures to be extremely strong. These two combined materials are what makes the modern stadium possible. They are flexible and allow designers to account for snow, wind, sway, and crowds. Now, let's finally get rid of that pesky pole. A technique used in bridges, balconies, even Jenga is the rigid structural element called the cantilever, which is essentially an anchor at the end of a strong beam which successfully counteracts the weight of the structural load and allows for a platform or structure to hang freely and securely. The technique was actually invented in the 1860s and first used in bridges. Maybe the most famous and iconic use of a cantilever is at Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water home. It uses tension steel and a concrete anchor to pull off its stunning balconies and overlooks. Because of the combination of reinforced concrete and high-strength steel, in the mid-20th century, engineers could now use the cantilever method for both stadium bowls and roofs, eliminating the use for poles. Instead of the steel-backed or concrete bleachers in old construction being simply attached or hung from the outer frame of the building, a long beam or weighted structure becomes the counterbalance for the load and allows the seating area to be suspended above the next level. Bye-bye, stupid poles that you have to sit behind. Look at the difference between old Yankee Stadium and new Yankee Stadium. You can see where the counterbalance for the stands is built into the cross section. Another great side effect is with the cantilever, the counterbalance area becomes the concourse for concessions and bathrooms. You can see early examples of this method being used at Dodger Stadium, Candlestick Park, RFK, and all those hideous concrete dual-use stadiums of the 70s. For the roof, the cantilever also works, allowing it to rise above the seating area with unobstructed views. However, the stadium coverings there are a variety of techniques that can be used, including circular tension rings, concrete shells, even membranes. The method does have its limits, as naturally it's more expensive and causes the stadium to generally have a wider footprint. But like we said earlier, F them poles. So there you have it, the right combination of strong materials, a 100-year-old technique, and the need to dissuade you from sitting on your couch to watch a game instead of having to sit behind a pole gives you the modern stadium. And great seats. It still can't prevent you from sitting next to an Eagles fan though. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to check out manscaped.com and cop the new improved life-altering Lawnmower 3.0 and use my code FivePoints to get 20% off your first order and free shipping. I'm 5Points Vids and you made it to my next video.